Hey, the Everyone Pal here, and welcome back. We're talking Star Citizen again today, and I don't have one specific subject. In fact, I have 5 or 6 small little topics I want to go over. They're going to focus around Star Citizen, a little bit about what the channel is, how I'm going to adapt my Star Citizen coverage, footage, and all of that, and just what you can expect going forward. So, with that out of the way, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to do is I've spent the last 10-15 days going over a lot of the comments, taking in a lot of the feedback and input, and trying to process it as much as you can. There's a lot of useless feedback of "you suck," go die, you're a fucking moron," this stuff. There's not a whole lot you can get out of that. But the one big thing I did get back from all the feedback for the most part was people did not like the combination different gameplay and the commentary at the beginning going over whatever that gameplay is. And I've heard you guys. Now, I'm kind of half changing it. The way the footage is going to go on for at least right now is it's going to be very much how this video here just came up. There will be different gameplay in the background, and it'll just be a note for the first 30 seconds on the screen. There'll be some text there telling you the game, where you can get it, all that stuff, game platform, and so on. And that'll be it. I'm not going to spend any time talking about it, giving my impressions on it. It will just be the gameplay footage. If I decide to actually do a video about that game, then it will just be a separate video talking about that gameplay, be it Horizon Zero Dawn, be it this House of the Rising Sun, whatever. So that part is gone. I still think, though, for the most part, I'm going to keep the variety footage going on in the background. And I talked about this in my last channel update. I was just kind of testing the waters, and I got mixed feedback on it. Some people very much, when they click on a Star Citizen video, they just want to see Star Citizen footage. And I understand that. You come in with a certain expectation. The reason that it hasn't been Star Citizen footage is me personally, I'm at the point where I've seen all of the footage of 2.6, 2.61, 2.5 I can possibly see. I don't need to see another round of Star Marine. I don't need to see another round of Arena Commander. I've seen all the ships in there. I've seen all the content in the Persistent Universe, what's available for us right now in the open in Port Olisar. I've seen all of that. So when I watch another Star Citizen video from a different content creator or whatever, it's almost always minimized or on a different tab or something, and I'm just listening to the audio. So I took this into account when I did my footage as if there's something new. So when 2.62 comes out, which is looking to possibly be as early as next week, if there's some type of new footage, which probably won't be for 2.62, I would show that off. When 3.0 comes out, there will definitely be some new footage. There'll be planetary landings and all of that stuff. Then Star Citizen footage would be the primary thing on screen again. But when we're in this sort of holding pattern and there's nothing really new to show and we've all been there, seen that, done that, I would just rather do something different, something that's at least I don't want to say unique, but something that's a little bit fresher than more B-roll Star Citizen footage. That's my thought process. So I'm going to test that out for a few weeks. We'll see if just showing the game and the name of the game and that's it, moving on, how that goes over overall. Hopefully that works. I'm not stuck in this, but I'm not playing a whole lot of Star Citizen because there's not a whole lot of Star Citizen new content, so I don't have a whole lot of Star Citizen footage to put together, if that makes sense. I'm playing other games, so that's the footage I'm getting. Yeah. Okay, speaking of updates, so we did learn that in 3.0, mining is supposed to be coming along. They did a recent Q&A, get to know the developer with Brian Cranston is his name, I think, the Brian guy. And he talked about, and they did confirm that they're aiming to put mining in 3.0. I said that very particularly aiming because this would not be the first time if they decided to, yes, put it in 3.0, but then when 3.0 is getting close, they realize it's not working, they bump it back to 3.1 again. So it's not guaranteed, but they're striving for it. This really cued me in on something that's been going on, and I'm by no means the first person to say this, but there was some talk about a 2.7 patch. It's been brought up several times on the Around the Verse during the interviews and stuff. Twice, I think it's come up. The possibility. There's been some other people speculating about one occurring. To me, mining being in 3.0 guarantees a 2.7 patch to me. I say this because in order for the mining to work, they have to first test, implement, and have the system of items coming into your ship, being stored in your ship, and then being able to sell those items off. If you don't get the items into your ship, there's no point in mining. And then you could, maybe not have to be able to sell them, but that just doesn't really make sense. So if they're going to be able to do that with the mining in 3.0, that tells me before that, at some point, they're going to have items 2.0 in, so we can test out the selling kiosk, the ability to move cargo in and out of the ships, sell off items, buy items, and all of that. And that is why I think 2.7 is almost a guaranteed thing that's going to happen. They'll do 2.62, though that'll be a small update. 2.7, I think, will bring items 2.0 in, but not planetary landings. And then 3.0 will bring in mining in the planetary landings, so you can then, with the items 2.0 that was tested in 2.7, mine up ore, take it, sell it, whatever you need to do for profits on that as you do the transport and everything else. So I think 2.7 is a really big likelihood. I think once 2.62 comes out, which we'll probably see in the next 10 days, the following Friday, we'll probably get a letter from the chairman saying, here is our perspective for 2.7 rather than 3.0. Does this mean 3.0 has been delayed? I wouldn't say yes, but I also wouldn't be surprised. A lot of people would be are going to be very angry if that does happen. I still think, if we get 2.7 or 2.62 here in March, we could be looking at 2.7 then in May, and then maybe 3.0 in July, August timeframe, which is a little behind what I originally thought in my video looking forward back around Christmas I put out. So it's a little bit delayed, but even then I said May, June for 3.0, so it wouldn't be too far off. I would be okay with that. And I think items 2.0 would be a good enough holdover until we get to 3.0 and the planetary landings. So let's talk a little bit about the community, my videos, things along those lines. So there's a lot of people that just really seem to dislike my videos, and some of them I absolutely get. The Star Citizen on console video, I kind of really expected that to get a lot of negative feedback. Now, I really hoped people would at least listen to the reasoning behind I thought it being a good idea. The fact that I had people telling me that they should not be using money that was donated in order to make a PC version for console, that infuriated me a little bit. It really did, considering I very clearly in the video said, do this post-launch of the Persistent Universe with money generated from that. But I kind of expected that. What I have been caught off guard about, though, is some of the other videos that more are just general talking points about the game, possibilities like the importance of scale and scope in the game, and how you want it to be large enough to give things meaning, to give travel importance, so you can get across areas. You can't be across from A to B instantaneously and have that be a massive distance. It doesn't really work. And there's a lot of people that just seem to have Star Citizen in their own little bubble. They've created this bubble of what the game is going to be. Even though the game is constantly in development, what is obtainable is constantly changing, they've said in their mind this is what it is. And they don't want to have any discussion about possible other ways of looking at it. And they get really hostile about this. And it's really confusing. And this is by no means something exclusive to Star Citizen. This happens all around the video game industry. It happens even outside the video game industry with cars. You have your car guys that are just one manufacturer, the other manufacturer, and anything beyond that they get really angry about. You have a lot of it with sports leagues, sports teams, people with their loyalties to sports. It's something about human nature. They're very protective of their bubble. And even if just the discussion can sometimes really antagonize them to some great extent, I wish there was a little bit more openness for this conversation. If you think you had valid points of why it shouldn't be on consoles, and there are some very valid points for why it shouldn't be on consoles, okay, let's have that discussion. You don't need to be angry or hostile about it, though. We're just having a simple discussion about it. Things like that are a little crazy. Speaking of scale and scope of that, out of the most recent 10 questions for the chairman or whatever video they put up, some really good information on the scale and stuff. And it seems like actually some of the concerns I voiced in my other video were almost directly addressed. Like, they realize Chris said was crossing one solar system is give or take about 30 minutes, but they're looking to have things that occur within that every 5 to 10 minutes of quantum travel, just to keep things fresh and interesting, so you're not just zoned out quantum traveling. And this could be anything from being messaged to go support someone or something, being pulled out by warp. Not warp, but being pulled out of quantum by interdiction. But it could also just be a system on your ship acting up, and you have to get out of the pilot's seat, go back and repair that system on your ship to keep things running smoothly. Like, maybe your quantum speed starts to slow down a little bit. You got to go back and whack on the engine a little bit or something. That's kind of cool. You do have to worry, though, that, people are going to be investing hundreds and hundreds of hours in Star Citizen. At some point, you just kind of want to get from point A to point B, and if every 5 minutes you're being interrupted and it's slowing down your progression, there is a point where, like, God damn, just let me get there. I want to just AFK get there. But it's a balance thing. They definitely do know about it. They're keeping their eye on it, and they're being smart about it. There was no video this last weekend. I didn't really have a subject to go on, and I kind of got off topic there a little bit with the recent 10 questions video, but this came back to the whole community thing. There were two subjects on hand. I had one subject I was working on, I was putting together an idea from, and before I even made the video, I knew the vitriol around the video would be so great, it discouraged me from even bothering to make it. And basically what the video was going to be, and a very brief rundown, was I was thinking that there could be a cool discussion around the possibility of, bear with me here, a trial free-to-play model of the game. Not for not full version, but a trial version. Essentially what it would be it would allow players to get in, jump in, and they would not be able to own or pilot a ship. That would be the restrictions on this free-to-play model. But then they could work as a mechanic on a ship, they could work as a gunner on a ship, an engineering crew, I guess that'd be the mechanic, all these different things. And what it would do is it would allow people to put their toes in and see the larger game and really think if they like it. And maybe it doesn't have to be free-to-play. Maybe it's a $15 entry-level, access level account that they get to, rather than free-to-play $15. And they get in for that, and they can do all these other things, but they're never allowed to own or fly a spaceship. And then if they want to, down the line, they can upgrade that to a full account, at which point they can own and fly the spaceships and all of that. And I thought this would be a great way to possibly flesh out, expand the community, expand the player base, get more people playing it. It would also make for a lot more people in some of these multi-crew ships. You wouldn't have to hire nearly as many NPCs, but it would also really come from a group like the PAX community I'm a part of, where we have a lot of people that really love multiplayer games, but they're afraid of Star Citizen because of the competitive PvP nature of it, the fact that you can basically be ganked and killed wherever. There's not going to be a whole lot of protection on that outside of the insurance. That scares them. The fact that they're bad at first-person shooters, that scares them. So once they're on their ship and they get boarded, they're worried they won't be able to survive. Also, just the twitchiness, flight mechanics of it scares them away. So because of these elements, while they would love to work as a bridge member, a crew member on a larger ship, they're afraid to buy into the game for the $45, $60, whatever package they're looking for, because they just don't really have a chance. So a free-to-play model or a $15 entry model that restricts them, but lets them do those other jobs, I think would be a good discussion to have. But I knew before I even put that video together, the vitriol around it, just even the discussion around it would be, you're an idiot, we don't want them in Star Citizen, those people can go play somewhere else. It would just be so bad. It's like, well, damn, now I don't even feel like making the video, because I don't do this for a job. This is just a passion project I do. And it was like, well, I guess I just won't make a video this week. And that does bring me on to probably the last point. I am looking for other subjects. So this channel is not going to be a news channel. I don't want to. There's plenty of Star Citizen content creators that spend their time going through the forums, going through all the videos, and then they set up short 5-10 minute videos just going over recent updates, content, and all of that stuff to keep the community informed of what's going on for people that don't follow those actual forums. They exist. They're out there. I'm not going to try and make my channel to be one of them. The whole point of my channel and what I've been doing, more so just messing around, but the Star Citizen in these channels have been to take certain elements of the game, pick here, pick there, and just discuss it, break it down in a little bit deeper of a focus on that one subject or that one area of the game. And that's what I'm interested in doing. I'm never going to become, I'm not going to aim to do what Board Gamer does. What he does better than me, and I don't find what he does, while he does great work, me creating that, I wouldn't find that enjoyable. I don't want to just repeat back things that I read off the forums. I guess what I was coming back to, the final thing what I was going to do is I'm going to put together either a Twitter account or maybe even just messages through YouTube or whatever for people to submit subjects or questions or ideas that they want discussed, and maybe I'll take them, and it would give me more things to think about going into videos. Like, so this week I could look at it and say, oh, this person here had a pretty cool idea. Let's talk about that for a little bit, and that could be a way to go about it in the future. I think that about does it. There will be more Star Citizen content. I was a little burned by the community and the hostility of it. Also just a little burned out. I've been playing a lot more console games, so I didn't have any footage, and it was just like, it's just not worth making it right now. But I should be back in this weekend. I'll probably flesh out that idea I was just rolling around a moment ago and see where that goes. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And until next time, this has been Power. Thanks for watching.